They say offense is the best defense, but sometimes defense is the best defense. You simply have to defend properly in some positions. So when we grow up as chess players, when we train, we usually train our tactical skills. We do puzzles and so. So our tactical skills go well, but our defensive skills stay as we were. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 positions which will test your defensive skill. So whenever I show you the position, you can pause the video and think for yourself and figure out the plan. And then we will move on to the next position after the explanation. So let me take you to the first position. This is the first position. It is black to play. Your time starts now. Okay. So of course, if you need more time, you can pause the video and think. And once you figure out the plan, you can resume the video. That is what I would recommend because 10 seconds is very less, I know. But I wanted to give you some time to understand the position, a preliminary analysis of the position for you to make. Now, as you can see, white is threatening queen h8 and rook h7 mate. That is the problem. So if you are black in the situation, how will you proceed? We are up material. We have a rook, knight, and bishop for his queen, right? So we are up material, but the only problem is the queen and rook are about to deliver a mate. The correct move here is g5. We need to make space for our king, a luft for our king. Now, if white wants, he can give a check. That's his best move, but we'll get up. And now any check, queen h7 not possible because of the rook. Any check, queen h6, rook h6, queen h5, any check, we'll get out of that. Now if queen, let's say g4, we'll go to e5. If queen g3, of course e4 is not possible because bishop is covering it. Queen g3, we will get over to the queen side. Now they can give a check again, but that's it. We are out of danger and we are safe. So if you found this move, well done. Let's move on to the next position. This is the second position. It is black to play. Your time starts now. Okay. So as you can see, the bishop is attacked. Material is equal right now, but our piece is getting attacked. And if you move it, there is g7 falling. And with white pieces lined up against our king, it's going to be mate. So how can we get out of this tricky situation? We don't want to move the bishop, but if you move it, you are in trouble. So what do we do? The correct move is f5. We have to be resourceful. And not only does it attack the rook, it connects our rook to the g pawn, rook and queen to the g pawn, giving extra defense to our g pawn. Now you might think, what happens if they take on plus hand? Then we exchange queens, which is what we want. Because now after rook takes g3, we can just take the pawn with the bishop, and we have a better position because we are up by a pawn. We have the bishop pair as well, and this pawn is hanging. Our rooks are great. So suddenly all the advantages are for us. We have a weak pawn, but that doesn't matter. We have the bishop pair and a better position and an extra pawn. So f5 was the key move. That was the only move in this position to keep the advantage and not to lose. Any other move would have lost. So let's go to the third position. This position looks a little bit weird because black is promoted to a second queen. But this actually happened in one of the games. Not my game. I saw it on a social media platform where someone posted this position from their game. Okay, so this is black to play. Your time starts now. As you can see, white has sacrificed a lot of material to get this position. Black is basically up by a queen and a rook. But white is threatening not just queen h7 and then queen h8 mate. He's also threatening queen g7 mate. That seems hard to stop. If this was the only threat, we can just play queen takes bishop and we are fine. But this square, it seems like we are not able to get there. None of our pieces are able to get there. So how can we get to defend this square and this square? The correct move was knight to e4. It's a check. If king moves to f3, there's a mate on f2. So he can't do that. And if king moves to h4, we'll still play queen f2 and it's going to lead to mate. The king won't survive. So the best move for white is just to take. And now we are not going to just take back because then there's mate. We have to take back with a check, and that is why we're going to play queen g2. If king takes, queen takes bishop check, and then the queen gets in. So if king takes the queen, queen takes bishop, and after any king move, we get our queen to h7. Actually, we can directly play queen g6 here. If the king had gone to, let's say, h2, don't play queen g6 now because rook g1. We play, oh, actually, queen g6. Actually, queen g6 still works because of rook g1, we have rook b2 check, and if king h1, we can just do queen takes, and it's gonna lead to a painful mate. But yeah, you can just be safe, and after king g3, you can just go queen g6 or queen h7, another option. But yeah, we'll just go queen g6 and we are fine. We are up by a rook, we're winning. Now, what happens after queen g2 if the bishop had taken? If he played bishop takes g2, then we have queen g6 and we are exchanging queens and we are up a rook, up by an exchange basically, and we are winning. Let's go to the next position. This is one of the hardest in this series of questions I'm showing you. It is black to play. Your time starts now. You can see that white is threatening queen h7 mate. And it doesn't seem like there is a good option to defend the mate. But you would have probably thought of queen g4 check. Rook b1 allows bishop takes rook. So is rook b1 good enough to make the bishop go away and then give the check? Or should we directly give a check and continue? The correct move is bishop e7. You might think, why bishop e7? What has this got to do with anything? It looks just like a free piece. The key point is it takes the white queen away from the control of this square, which we need for checks. Now we will play rook b1. If king goes to g2, it's going to lead to mate. We have queen takes bishop check, and he's going to get mated there. So the best move is bishop takes. Now we do the repetition. Queen g4 check. If the king goes to f1, we play queen d1, which would not have been possible if the white queen was here, which is why we played bishop e7. So now if king goes back to g2, we give a check. If he gets here, we take the pawn or queen f4. He goes back, check. He can't get out of the checks. We play queen f3, king h2, queen f4. He can't escape. So we make a draw by repetition just because we made his king all alone. We made the bishop and queen get away from the squares, and now we do the repetition. Let's go to the next position. It is black to play. Your time starts now. So you can see that black is up by a piece right now, but our knight's hanging and queen g8 is a threat. This is the biggest threat right now, queen g8. So what did you decide to do in this position? Did you think of queen f7? But if you do queen f7, queen h8, and if you go king moves, then you will lose first this bishop, and then your knight's hanging and this bishop's hanging. So that is not good. Correct moves, king takes f7. Now, if g into f4, we don't have to worry about anything. We just take back. And if king h1, we can just play queen h3. A very nice move. Yeah, and it's going to lead to mate. King g1 and queen g2 mate. Nice pattern there. And if king moves to g1, we can just take the knight and we are going to mate him anyway. So, which is why the best move here for white would be knight f5, using the knight and queen for the attack. Now, how would you defend? we can just play either knight takes bishop or bishop takes bishop. Knight take bishop is good. Bishop takes is even better because we have never got to worry about this. This will just be a mate for him. So he wouldn't do that. Now, the main thing to understand is Queen G7 is not really a big threat. Our king can escape out of there if the bishop is not there, which is why we have to play, let's say, bishop takes bishop. And now, if they do queen takes G7, we just move our king in. King E6, let's say they play queen G6 or queen G4. Let's say you can't play queen G4. 6, knight D4 is the only check. We just bring the king over here and we are safe. Now they'll have to give a check with the queen and the king just goes to. We can go to C7, which is also fine. King C5 is a bit more safer because our pieces can block in a better way. But we are fine. We are up by two pieces. One of them will go, either of these two, if white plays correctly. But we are up by a piece and we have a pass pawn and we're going to win. Let's go to the next position. It is black to play. Your time starts now. Material is equal here, but white has some active pieces. Right now, bishop is covering it, but this is a threat, right? If bishop takes, then there is queen h8 mate. That is a threat. So how do you defend? You have a move that not only defends the threat of queen h8 after rook d1, after rook d8, sorry, that also wins. Not just by just not losing, by actually winning a piece. So the move was rook h7. Now, if you just look at the position queen's hanging, queen is trapped actually. They can play bishop f6 still. If they play bishop f6, what do? We cannot take the queen because then rook d8, e7 is a problem. So, for example, rook takes queen. Yeah, rook d8 is mate in two. King moves and rook h8 mate. So we can't do that. So here we have to be careful. We have to just play queen takes. If they play queen g5, how will you continue? Will you take the queen? That doesn't win because you are still in an equal position. We should play queen c3 check. And now the attacker gets attacked. His king is stuck. If king g4, there's mate. If let's say king f2, we play queen c2. They can't go back because there's mate. So just by this rook h7 move, the position just turns around. We turn the tables on the opponent, and he's the one who's losing now. Let's go to the next and last position. This is white to play. Your time starts now. Even though we are up by a piece and his king is not safe, our king is not safe, and our bishop is hanging. Queen is about to take it. We can't move it because then it'll be even worse. And we have a few extra pawns as well, two extra pawns, but he is on the attack. Our king is the one exposed. So, what is the correct option here? This one is a little bit easy, I would say, because you just need to bring your queen around to defend this bishop, which looks a little bit difficult now. There's no square for the queen to directly come to. But then we have to see queen check, either a8 or b8. If king g7, queen f4, queen e5, and the queens are exchanged, and you win. So king f7, we just play queen f4, and everything is defended. The bishop is defended, knight's already defended, and the queen is around. The bishop is attacked as well. It's a check. So, for example, they will play bishop f5. Now we have to bring our pieces to coordinate with each other. We play knight e4 covering very important squares. And now if they try giving any checks, we just move over our king. If they give again check, we just bring the bishop back. And if they give again check, we can just play knight d2. And everything is defended. Our pieces came back for the king's defense, and we are safe. It's a big, tight family that stays together. So I hope you enjoyed these positions and do work on your defense. You can actually do defensive questions on Lichess, where there is a set of puzzles. If you go to puzzle themes, that's how I usually train my defense. Defending properly is very important for any chess player, and especially for me, it has been a big problem. So I keep working on my defense. I hope you all the very best in your journey with chess. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.